Hi there, name's Smythe Cornfinder. Nice to meet you. A long time ago, Fuji decided to start making lenses. They suck at it though. Rumor has it that Fuji's making a 10-24 Mark II. And I just want to talk about what I demand in that lens and what other lenses might grace our presence.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So before we get started, you should know that we are on the Canon R6 with the 50mm 1.2 EF adapted to the camera. The tone. Oh, the tone is real. I changed the autofocus settings because it's been wonky. I bumped up that sensitivity, dropped down the speed a little bit. I think it fixed it. Because before I did that, when I got here, it started haunting. Maybe we have fixed the dual pixel way of life. To your right, left, the Fuji with the Viltrox 33mm 1.4. This is the best. I should have tried the Mitacon, but I can't focus on it with the monitor that way. There's no way it's happening. But I figured we get Fuji in the shot. Maybe I'll shut it off soon. But I do want to test the overheating on the R6 because we're on the latest 1.1.1 firmware and we're in 4K. So let's see if it overheats, and then can we film slow motion in your mother's living room while it's hot? So the 10-24, I love that lens, the look of it, but it has some serious problems. Can they fix it? What are they thinking with the Mark II? Listen to this, they got the 10-24, that's a 15-36. That's like that giant Canon lens, but it's a little lighter, but 24. Kind of disappointing outside. But you still get a minor amount of subject isolation. It's not terrible, it's doable, but the colors make up for it. I tell you, whenever I put that lens on, I'm like, look at the greens and the lush grass, like I can't even believe it. So Fuji knows what they're doing. Viltrox, I'm not so sure. It just, the hell happened? The hell happened? Fuji just died. I think the battery must have been low. Oh, I can never plan ahead. You're not going to believe how dumb I am. I started the Fuji and the Canon clapped, synced. All right, we're good. And I'm doing this side by side. Didn't even have a memory card in the Fuji. And I'm like talking to it like, oh, this looks nice, doesn't it? Oh, God. So now you can see it. What the flying shit? Oh, that hurts. It hurts the face to be me. Unbelievable. But as I was about to say, the Viltrox colors, they're not quite the same as a Fuji lens. If you had the 35mm, I preferred it. I preferred the 35-22 to this lens, but the focus breathing issues it had, it was unusable basically, so I kept the Viltrox, sold the 35. We're good now. We're good to go. Beautiful. It autofocuses better with the firmware update. So that 10-24 is magic, but it has the worst wavy stuff. Pretty much all focal lengths. It might go away by 24, but you want to use it at 10, and it's so bad, like the stabilization. So that's what they have to work on. Somehow correcting that, make it a dual stab. I don't think it was dual stab. Speaking of dual stab, I just did a night vlog with that R6 last night on the EF 24mm 22.8 adapted. That's a stabilized lens. I've never seen footage more shaky. Like it just wasn't working together at all. So I think that's what the Fuji's like. The 10-24 doesn't act with IBIS. It wasn't designed to. So in this new Mark II, you have to do that. You have to correct that warpy, wavy stuff at 10 mils. So far, so good. I would probably get it, but it needs two more things. It needs to be lighter somehow, and a faster aperture. Let me explain how that's going to work through physics. Make it a 2.8-4, like your kit lens, only wider. And then shrink it down. The 2.8 aperture allows you to shrink it. through art and science. I don't care if this thing switches to Tony 4 at 11 millimeters. You just give me that 2.8 at 10 and we have some excitement, and then whatever, it's 4 basically. If you can do that somehow and keep the same weight or less, I don't understand how it would be physically possible, but at least the same weight, because it's already pretty heavy, that lens. It's a bit ridiculous for a Tony 4, be real. That 15 to 35, it's pretty magical outside, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's super heavy on a tripod when it's extended out, but if you hold it by the lens, it's somewhat doable. And I like the look of it. It doesn't autofocus very well, but that could be user error. Oh God, damn you. Oh, I thought we had it. Oh, we had it. I'm not looking at you anymore, Canon. You disappointed me. You disappointed me. Fuji would never do that. Fuji has the best autofocus system ever known. The exposure changes are a little weird. I'm gonna move that lens. Let's switch it up a notch. This was a mistake. I should have just stayed how I was, but this is what I love about full frame, that you can be so far away, but you still get some tone back there. So dignified. So that would be an exciting update, and also, obviously, need I mention that the autofocus motors have to be improved. A linear motor, something, borrow Sony technology. Fuji, every single lens they make from this day on has to be amazing in video autofocus. That has to be a priority. If it's not, don't even bother. Unbelievable. Unfucking. But that would be a pretty exciting lens. For vlogging, ideally, there's two waveforms of thought. You go with a light prime that's wide and fast, and it's easy, and then it's a great vlogging length, but you can't move, you can't zoom on anything, it sucks. So having that zoom is just so much better for vlogs. It's heavier usually, but it's worth it. Kind of is. Zooming in on squirrels for B-roll, very important footage. And just, it makes your vlog so much more dynamic. You flip around, it's like, oh, look at that scene, and then you zoom, oh my God, he's changing things. But Tony 4 on the wide end, not very inspiring. I kind of wish they would update the kit lens. The 18 to 55, that's my next wish. Make that a 14 to 55. F2, Tony. Tony 2 to 4. And I don't care, you change it at 15 mils, you're a 4. That's the new design. Just give me the wide open. Vlogging on that kit lens is a little tight, 28 mils, fully extended on the Nebula. 19-inch tripod is still kind of tight, and then you add the digital crop. That's a 1.65 times crop now. You're almost in Canon loser APS-C mode. That's bullshit. You have the smallest sensor of all your APS-C rivals. You're bullied. When it comes to other lenses, I don't know that I want any of their lenses updated. I want new, something new and exciting. I want a super wide, fast prime to contradict what I said earlier about the zoom being more fun. Sometimes you just want a frang. A frang? Oh. I have 3 different colored light sources in the shot. That's cinematic. We have a light here, a lamp, and window light in a mirror. This is a movie. Have you seen this movie? Oh, hey, Dave. Where have you been? Haven't seen you for 3 months. I got kidnapped, Jim. Thanks for helping. You never did help. I looked for you day and night with my granddaughter. We made it a pastime looking for you at night in the ghetto. I risked my life for you, and I don't regret a thing. I'd do it again. You're the best. I knew you cared. I knew you cared, Bunny. You're the best friend I ever had. I swear to God, if you ever need anything, here. You come to me. It's done. Okay, that got dramatic fast. I'm curious. I had a Sony a7S III shot. It wasn't this though. Before we talk about the fast prime that I want, this is the a7S III RAW file. It's the original footage. It's not already rendered. There we have it. That was the Zeiss 55mm 21.8. Lent to us by Camera Canon. Thank you so much, Camera Canon. So this fast prime, that can be the advantage. It's lighter than the zoom, but it's super shallow depth of field for the fun times. So I've debated. Fuji doesn't seem to stabilize 12 mils very perfectly. My Samyang does some freaky shit, even with the digital. I don't love that. Not loving it. So I think we got to go to 13 mil. I think Tony 2 is still good enough, as long as it's sharp. 13 mil Tony 2. I know Viltrox is coming with a 13 mil 1.4, but we know Viltrox scares us outside, and the colors might not be great. It's a fantastic lens, but whenever I compare it to a Fuji lens, Fuji does color magic. I don't know what they do. How could glass make color? Doesn't even, they do something weird. They pee on it, for sure. So the camera just shut off due to the 30-minute time limit, and when I stopped it, it says it has 5 minutes left. So let's see if we get that, and if it overheats, I'll finish the video off in 1080p line skipped mode. Thank you, Canon. I'll be honest with you, I don't love the direction Fuji seems to be heading in with their glass. Their recently released 50mm just one Tony. That's a bit much. I don't know that we need to go. I do look forward to reviewing it soon, but I'm glad it autofocuses well, but it's a bit much Tone. We don't need it. What is 1.8? Full frame equivalent Tone wise. That's 2.7. That's doable. Full frame 2.8 is pretty good. In fact, it might be a bit blurry. When I vlog with that 15 to 35, it's a bit gone out there. It's like you could stop that down not to 4, but like 3, a 0.2 of a month. But I tell you, the Fuji system is magic. Those who have ever held one, they know it. They know it. It's just the performance, the dynamic range, the colors. It's pretty easy to switch between slow-mo. You can do that on a custom button. I was looking for the Canon R6 because there's no custom mode dials, but maybe I could save slow-mo switch to a button. Can't do it. Oh man, it's light, it's cool looking. Most people preferred the Fuji when I reviewed it versus this camera. I do too, and it's a lot lighter and cheaper, so it's like they have the magic, but their lenses have not been up to par autofocus wise. That's really all they have to do with every single lens update. I have an interesting lens on the way to review. It's a third-party lens, 17mm Tony 1.4. That should be interesting. That might be interesting. I don't know. It's a bit tight. Let's see what you look like in window light. Is that better than my light? I find whenever I make videos, I prefer the window light, although it does change quite a bit. That's beautiful. That is beauty. And then it won't struggle because I'm still bright. When it comes to what my favorite Fuji lens is currently, I'm sure you're curious. It is tough. It is so tough. The 23mm Tony 2 is beautiful. I wish it was a 1.8. Just a slight smidgen more back there. But it's so tiny, but you would never use it outside, so its small size doesn't matter. It should be on there. It's Tone. My favorite looking lens, hands down, 35mm Minicon 0.95. It just looks so magical. The thing is flashing. It stopped flashing. It's flashing. This gives such a magical look, but it's manual focus only, and it's so hard because you have to be far about this. How do you see a LCD screen that you can't even, it's that big? Am I in focus anywhere? Eventually I'll be in focus at one of these points. I can't tell. I zoomed in and it appeared I was in focus like right here, but I don't remember the exact position. You'd have to back up. That hurts. Is it magic? Compared to the 50, 1.2? All right, so we're at 50 minutes here of recording. It's flashing, but we have no signs of overheating, so I'm just gonna let it record and spare you guys the grief, and then I'll let you know if I could record 120 frames after, and that's it. So what do you think of the Fuji lenses? What should they update? What are you most interested in? Let us know down below, or the Fuji assassins will get you. After you buy the shirt, they'll save you. Subscribe for more videos on the channel. It's funny all the things people are trying to do to get these cameras to not overheat, like changing the date, removing the battery, sticking a kernel of rice in there, pointing a fan at it. It allowed me to record 30 minutes and then 30 minutes again, and then like 18 minutes or so. I'll put the exact time that I was allowed to record, but basically it's good to go. It's unlimited. Like, I would never make a video that long, and if you do a little break, you're fine. And yes, I was able to do a slow motion clip right after. It had no limit, so I don't think that overheats ever. That's unlimited. And now we're in 1080p loser mode, because that's what you're forced to do. Is it amazing? Line skip 1080p. I'll leave, but I think that overheating is a non-issue for most people, but that's the least of Canon's problems. The R6 has no good color science, and those files are hard to edit. And the IBIS being pretty terrible, which they apparently updated, so we'll test that in another video. And the autofocus being very second-guessy. Not now, but sometimes, outside. I'm gonna leave.